So once again, good evening, everyone, and we will be starting today's session primarily focusing on week 3. And if you've got any questions to ask before I open up the portal and start going through the week's content, you can go ahead and ask me if any one of you have any questions. Okay, I'll take that as there are no questions. Okay, so let me share my screen.
My question is how to solve question number 1.
Okay, yeah. So week 3 you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Right, you guys can see my screen, I hope. Okay,
Yes, it is visible.
great. Okay, so I'll assume that I'll just quickly go over these first few things just to make sure that there's no one being left behind on any of this. So everyone's comfortable with cleanup in Excel. I mean, these are very simple and straightforward. Uh, if you have some issues with this, I would suggest watching the video again or asking your friends. It just needs practice. So everyone's fine with like text to columns. I hope you've tried out some of the examples or made your own examples and tried them out. And also feel free to open your mic, okay? So you can let me know. Data aggregation, again, these are all fairly simple to do. I mean, they just add a bit of color to things, I suppose. And then, of course, there's data preparation in the shell. And like I mentioned a bit earlier before the recording started, as far as shell commands go, the only place I would expect these to show up again might be in the end term. There might be a possibility it might turn up in an ROE. We feel it's unlikely, but I can't say like 100% sure. So, but it's something that is new this term, and I will be focusing more on using pandas because that's just simpler for a lot of people, and it does the same job, which is passing the data. Data preparation in editor. This is a simple video, but it's quite nice. It gives you a lot of handy tips on shortcuts and how to just work faster. In fact, I should probably learn a lot of these shortcuts. I tend to be a little bit, what should I say, more all thumbs when it comes to trying to use shortcuts. So there's something for me to learn in there. Anyone have issues with Open Refine? I know sometimes this might be a little tricky. You guys found Open Refine okay? Right. So that generally covers, and of course, there's this profiling data with pandas. This rarely has any questions asked on this, but it's an interesting tool. And then these are all just optional things. They may ask 1 or 2 questions in the end term about these things. It won't be anything very significant. It'll be like, if you look at past PYQs, you'll see what kind of questions they may ask. It's just going to be something very generic and easy if they ask any questions on these last couple of videos, which are optional. Right, so if there's no issues generally with those things, I'm going to start looking at the graded assignment. So I'm not sure if everyone got the same log file because a lot of the questions are parameterized this time. So I'm not sure if everyone's got the same log file or not, but I'll be using this one that's on the portal here. So let's see. Try to open this and download it. I already have it here somewhere. Right. So I'll close that. Just give me a second here while I put it all in the right place. So, I mean, the reason I'm going through this exercise is sometimes I get on discourse questions where students do not know where the link is, and We have asked the backend team to try and make it more obvious um, that the link is there where the question itself is. So that's why I just quickly showed that in case someone's watching the video later and wants to know the answer to that. So put it in that folder there. Right. So you guys can still see my screen? Yes. Okay, that's good. Let's rename this over here. Right. So I've opened up Visual Studio Code. I would highly recommend it if you guys are not familiar with it to at least try and get familiar with Visual Studio Code. There was a video that Anand sir did in one of the videos where he used Visual Studio Code. You don't have to use it. It is free software, um, but it's very useful in many cases. If you don't want to use it, you'll have to use Google Colab. But for this session, I'll be using the Visual Studio Code. So as you can see, there's this log file. It's quite big, and I'll open up a new notebook for week 3, PYNB. So that's the extension name you have to give if you're going to open a Google Colab or Pandas, or sorry, or Jupyter Notebook, as this is called. Google Colab is just an online version of Jupyter Notebook. And then I'm going to create a virtual environment like I always do. I open the palette over here. I think it's Control Shift P for Windows, and then create a virtual environment, and then choose the Python, the latest Python interpreter. So it's created it over here, and then I'm going to select Python environments, choose the virtual environment, and hopefully it should be good to go. Let's see. I know it's misspelled, but so then it says I have to install the kernels. I say install, so it's doing that. It's connecting, and yeah, so it's working great. So the next thing, we will need pandas. So pip install pandas. Yep. So almost done, I think. Still going. Okay. And then import pandas PD. I probably should make my screen bigger, I think. Is it a bit too small or?
If you can like zoom it, that would be great.
Control and plus will make the font larger. So yeah.
Right. So anyone want to cue me in on what I do next? So we want to read this file, right?
Yeah, pd.read csv or read whatever you want to do.
Yeah. So we need to read this file into a data frame. And so the name of the file is called log. Oh, actually, it's not a CSV, isn't it? But I think it should
No,
open.
it's not csv.
Let's see if it opens. What does it do? It says something is the problem. Yeah, so it's not a CSV. So what should I do instead? Any thoughts? Come on, guys. You got you've. I'm sure some of you have tried, right? In pandas or something.
For the first few steps, I just used command line tools to to clean the data,
Okay.
and then used
Okay. Anyone else? What do you think I should do? What kind of file is this? This log file.
Shouldn't we like separate it with spaces and then commas and then only it can read
Yes.
from?
Yes. So what kind of file is this log file? What kind of file is this? It's a text file, right?
Yes.
So how do you open text files in Python?
You can do with open thing. You can do with
Yeah.
open or f equals open the text file
Yes.
name in read mode.
So correct. So it was a little bit of a trick, yeah. So I didn't give you the answer straight away because I wanted to see if you guys you should know you should at least know Python, right? So this is just basic Python. So we open the file because it's just a text file, and then we can do something like lines equal f dot read lines. With me so far? So I think this will work.
Yeah.
Well, hey, look at that. It worked. Right. Let's see what these lines contain. Let's look at the first line. And what you know, it's got the first line there. And so this is an array of lines that we have read, right? So now we've got the whole file in there. Now, anyone want to give me an idea of what we do next? What should we do next? So the goal is to put this in some sort of data frame, because when we put this in a data frame, then we can work with the questions very easily. Because once you put it in a nice table, now you can either do this in Excel or whatever application you want, but you do it in Pandas for today. So any clues on what we do next now that we have each line available to us?
Sorry to interrupt, but how do we get the log file in the Explorer option? I'm not getting it in that option.
So you're saying how to open this file, the log file?
No, how to get that log, like it in the Explorer
You
section?
mean over here?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what you do is, I mean, are you using VS Code or what are you using?
Visual Code, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when you start, so did you create the virtual environment and everything like I showed earlier?
I saved it as IPYNB file
Yeah,
and it created that.
yeah.
But how to get that log file in the
Okay.
sidebar?
So basically, there is normally what happens is when I start work, I say open folder, and then I choose the folder in which I'm going to work. So that's your workspace for Visual Studio Code. And then I copy that log file into that folder. If you want, we can have a quick look at your computer, and you can share your screen, and we can just quickly have a look at that.
There are actually two ways, Carlton.
Yeah.
The one way you said, another way could be opening the terminal in the workspace of your folder,
Yes.
and in the terminal you just type code space period and it just opens there. But you at the end of the day you need the file in that particular folder. So yeah.
Yeah. Both ways will work. Yeah. You want to share your screen?
Oh, yeah, I'm downloading the file. 1 second.
Okay. So meanwhile, Sayan, do you want to show people how you open a workspace from the terminal?
I can, but I don't want to show some specific folders because I have
Okay.
workspaces. So just give me a second. Let me
Sure,
create a
sure.
folder and I'll just do it.
Okay.
Can I screen share now?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Is the screen visible?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. How to like?
Yeah. So so where have you saved your file?
In the downloads, I think it is.
Okay. So if we look on here, you're in Dropbox downloads. Yeah. So this file that you got, you first of all have to extract it. Okay. It's a gzip file. You'll have to unzip it. Normally, if someone's got Windows, Does anyone, can anyone share some ideas on how she can unzip this file?
We could use the Oracle, the Unix structure like decompress, exclamation decompress, and then the file name.
Yeah, but she's on Windows. So any tips for her how she can open this file?
But she can use Colab for that.
Google Colab.
Yeah, in Colab you can use the decompress option, and then it would get unzipped. Then you download it.
Okay, 1 second.
Or just can extract all.
Carlton,
Yes.
actually, I downloaded that file and just said open. So
And
it gave me one window
Okay.
that's like open with, and then
Sure.
I clicked on that VS Code. So
Okay.
I have got that file, but I'm not sure how to get that uh, code space over there. I'm
Okay.
not sure how to get that.
Right. Shivani, you can try and okay. So what happens if you double click the file on Windows? Does it open the file?
It doesn't. It wants to how to
Okay.
open.
Yeah.
open.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you'll have to follow what I think. Who was that? Who?
Yeah, you can use exclamation gzip,
Yeah. Run the command over there.
gzip dash dash decompress, and then the name of the file. You need to upload your file here. Yeah, this file name with the extension.
Just the file name or the path complete?
The file name would do because it's already there. It's not in your drive, no? It will do.
Okay. It hasn't loaded completely.
You can download WinRAR if you want.
Yeah, we can do this way for now. This will probably be the quickest way for now.
So, should I do it on Google Colab then?
Yeah, you can do it on Google Colab. So there is you have to put the file name in quotes, I think, because it's got some fancy characters.
Space.
Yeah.
It's done.
Okay, let's see if refresh the folder on the side that you got there, the folder view there. Yeah. We're not seeing the. So anyone have any tips? Why she's not seeing the?
It actually takes some time.
Oh,
It took
right.
me 5 minutes when I did it. So
Oh, is it on
it's-
Colab? Is it?
yeah, on Collab. It takes some time.
Okay.
After curl, if you run this gzip on that particular file, it takes some time.
Okay. All right. While we are waiting for that, the other option, Shivani, is like someone suggested. There is a package called. There's like, for example, 7-zip is an example. Yeah, I think it's an open source package that will basically uncompress these types of files. And so that's one way to go about it.
Okay.
And then
In the meantime, I'll do it. I'll just stop sharing right now.
Sure.
Okay.
Right. So
Carlton, should I show it the way?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Madhuresh, for the link. That's a good software, 7-zip. Yeah, your screen is visible.
Like fully because I'm using push to talk. So you open the workspace folder, any folder. it will look like this. You just right click on it and open in terminal. So you would have a terminal like this, and you just type code space period, and you just put enter, and the folder would open in VS Code.
Yeah.
And then you can just work.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Sorry to interrupt. Sen, can you describe how make a virtual environment in VS Code?
Okay. The way Carlton showed, it's the MacBook way. So if you have Windows, then you can open this, and you need to open the terminal. So let's say Control and Tilt. That's a shortcut. So you have this, and then you type Python. I don't remember. I generally copy paste it. Python, I guess, -m VENV virtual environment, and then your virtual environment name, which is .venv. I'm gonna give.
Yeah, I know that method, but Cartoon not use that way, no?
He actually used the MacBook way.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
I
it's
prefer this. I prefer this
yeah.
way.
Oh,
It's the yeah.
it's for Windows.
Yeah, I
It's for
mean,
Windows the way I'm showing.
yeah,
Oh, so I know that, huh?
Mhm.
I know that how.
Yeah, yeah.
I
In
just
Windows,
confused why Cartoon used that way.
yeah. In Windows, you can also use the command palette way as well. There's both ways are possible in Windows as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right.
But it leads to the same result, which is you get a virtual environment.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Suchitra.
Yeah, Carlton.
Yeah.
Can I just quickly share my screen so that I will get to know where I have to put the commands?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just a minute. Just a minute.
Shivani, has the download finished for you?
Sorry, I was asking about the terminal that Sayan did in the Visual Code.
Okay.
Can we do we have to type code? I mean code space that dot in that terminal in the Visual Code?
Yes. If you do that, then it will open the workspace on Visual Studio Code directly.
Okay. Thank you.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So I have downloaded this in VS Code, but now I'm
Okay.
not getting where to put the commands.
Okay.
And
So
one more query. There
Yeah.
are a few tabs over here, and I think same tabs are over here as well. So is it a
Yeah.
repetition?
Yeah, I mean, you can close the tabs you don't want and only work. I think the new file you opened was untitled.ipynb. So you can, oh, that's also got stuff in it. Okay, that's no problem. You can always make a new file to
New
work
file.
on things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then
You can close the log file also. You don't need to view it.
this one?
Close both of those. Yeah.
This also?
Yeah, because that's just for us to know what's in it, right? So that's fine. The only question I would have is where you've stored the log file. Where exactly is your log file? The one that you had displayed, where
in downloads.
Okay. What you want to do is actually put it in this folder, TDS programming files. So it's just easier to work with. Because otherwise then you'll have to use absolute paths and things of that sort.
That's what I did. I right clicked and said open, and then
Okay.
I opened it with Visual Studio Code.
Right. Okay.
And it came over here.
Yeah. So if you go to the folder where it's been downloaded, I think, right. Okay. So it's downloaded in local temp. Right. Try and click at the top over there where the name of the file is and see if you can get the path.
Yeah.
Were you able to get the whole path and copy the path?
Yeah.
Okay. Because what you can then do is open the Explorer, and in Explorer, go to that path. No, it will be your the little yellow folder at the bottom of your screen, next to Firefox. Yeah, yeah. Open that.
Huh.
We
This
can't
is the folder.
We can't see your. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the one. Yes, that's it. That's it. So if you can copy this file into your TDS programming files folder. Try and right click in the Visual Studio Code and see if you can paste it there.
I
Okay.
have copied.
Yeah.
But
Where is TDS? Yeah, where is TDS programming files? Where is this folder?
Just right click on that. You will see. Just right click and no, just below the files. Yeah, right click there. And reveal in file.
Reveal in File Explorer.
Third option.
reveal in file.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you paste it here, yeah, just paste it here. Yeah, it'll just make it easier than to work with it.
Okay.
So you can see now on the left, your Explorer
Now this
has
is not required, right? I should I close it?
Yes, yeah, you can close it.
So whenever we are taking this in this folder, then it will call accordingly, for example.
Yeah, and one thing that would be useful to do is open a virtual environment, just like Cyan showed earlier. If you type Python -m in the terminal, if you close this Explorer window, yeah, and there at the bottom you see it says terminal. If you type in the terminal there, at the bottom, you see there's problems, output terminal. Yeah, so in that black sort of window, there's a prompt. It says PSC:users insta.
This one.
Yeah. So if
output terminal code.
Yeah, so if you go into at the bottom, just go to the bottom and click on the, you see there's a little white color cursor that has showed up. Yeah. So there, if you type Python -m, so that means module, and then put a space, and then VENV, so that means VENV, and then put a space. So that what this command does, it tells Python run the module virtual environment and then give a name for that virtual environment. So you put dot. Normally the convention is .ven.
Again VENV.
Yeah. So the .venv is the name of your virtual environment. Technically it can be anything, but this is the best convention. So it's better if you just follow the convention. So you can press enter now.
Enter?
Yeah. And then if you look on your Explorer window on the left up there, can you see there's a .venv folder that has showed up? Yeah. So that means your virtual environment folder is created, but now you have to activate it. Yeah. So the way to activate the venv environment, what's the command sign? Do you remember?
It's the virtual environment name /scripts/activate.
Okay.
So should I type over here?
Yes. Yeah.
VNV?
It's .venv. Your name is .venv, right? So put .venv.
Okay.
Slash, not that, slash. Scripts. Mostly if you type SCR and then put tab, then it should work. It just gives you, but I don't know if it works for you.
It's called auto completion.
Just type ACT and put tab again. Just enter.
Okay. So this is
for activate A in capital.
I think
it came like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the problem
Yes,
is
yes.
this permissions issues probably.
Oh,
It's the command line permission issue.
Yeah.
She needs to give the full access or something. One YouTube video you can find and you can do it.
Okay, you want to try the other method, which I showed earlier. It might work without having to run the script in the command. Because what's happened here is, the reason why you're getting this error is your computer has been configured not to run scripts. Now, normally this is a security thing, because someone can run a script on your computer without you knowing. So at the moment, your computer has been configured not to run scripts. You have to give permissions. There is a solution online for this. It's not very difficult, but I will give it to you to explore, and perhaps someone can post in the discourse the solution as well.
sure.
But for now, what we can do is try doing Control Shift P. I think it is. Try. Yeah. Okay. And then type in there. One second. Yeah. Then type in the create environment or create. Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, Python create environment. That's the one you want. Yeah. And then VNV. That one over there. Yeah, the first one. And delete and recreate. Let's delete and recreate. Yeah. And choose the latest one that you got there. 3.19. The top one.
This one, 13
Yeah, the top. Yes. Yeah. And okay, yeah, it created it. So that doesn't require permissions because that's not because VS Code is a trusted source to run scripts. So that's why that worked. The next thing is, as soon as it's done, you can open a new file. Is it like you can name it week 3? Some give it some sort of subscript, because I see you already got a new file there, week 3, but I think it has some other things in there, right?
Yeah. So I should create some new file, and then can start working over.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
So at the moment,
Thank
it's
you.
just getting all the information for your environment, and so as soon as it's done, you can let us know.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Will I stop sharing?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Could I share my screen for a second?
Sure.
Okay. So I downloaded the WinRAR. Other one was not downloading. I don't know.
Okay.
So
great. It looks like you managed to get the data. Yeah.
But I didn't run that. I just named the file directly from here, like new file.
Okay.
Is it
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah.
okay? Thank you.
The virtual environment. Were you able to create the virtual environment?
No, I didn't create any virtual
Okay.
environment.
I would highly suggest creating it.
Do I use the following command? This.
Yeah. Or you can do what I was showing. I forgot who it was. Suchitra, is it, or Sucharita? Yeah. So So Control Shift P, I think it is. Control Shift P.
Control Shift.
And then type in the virtual environment or create. Yeah, there it is. Go back a little bit back. Yeah, that one. Python create environment. Then VNV. Yeah. And okay. I think you don't have Python installed on your local system, is it?
I don't think so.
Okay. On the left-hand column, if you go very left-hand, under that like there's a little bug and a play button, right? On the left, on the very left, there's a
this one.
Yeah, a little below that, one below that. Yeah. So in there, type Python. Okay.
I think
So
I
yeah,
have
so
it.
you see the extensions there, Python extensions for Python. Okay, that's all there. Any okay. Any clues, Sam? Any advice?
Extensions are there, but she needs to check if she has Python installed or not. For that, she can do one or two things. Firstly, she can check on Microsoft Store, or she can visit Python, install Python on Google, and
Okay.
reinstall it
Okay.
and then
Okay.
run it. Because the kernel, it's showing base Python something. If you see Carlton
Yeah.
over there,
Would
so
it
there is some issues. You see
would it
on the
not
right hand side, base Python there was written, so the kernel is selected.
It might be Python 3, I think. If she types Python 3, it might work. I mean, not there in the terminal, I think.
okay?
That terminal code won't work because she used -VNV. It should be .VNV. So there was a slight bug.
No, Python 3 will be one word.
It will show you if you haven't installed or not.
So it's bringing up the Microsoft Store. So probably she has to install it. Yeah, you can say
Yeah,
get
she
on.
doesn't
Yeah.
have it.
So how did you guys manage to do the things that Anand sir showed when he was using VS Code? Did you manage to do any of those things? So
I did it on Colab actually.
okay. But he was showing some shortcuts on how to deal with JSON files, right?
Yeah, I did. I was able to do that on this
Okay.
Visual Code.
Okay.
Carlton,
Yeah.
that Control D works on Colab as well.
Okay. Right. So what we'll do is I'll.
Okay, I'll stop sharing when.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
please. Yeah. Okay. Maybe at some point we'll create a resource just to give people the basic instructions on how to install Python and just get their environment working. So that might help others also who have the same issue. I didn't realize that a lot of people don't have their environment up and running. Okay, let me go back to sharing my screen here. Right, you're able to see the screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so we stopped off at where we were reading the lines and we are able to open the file. So what would be the next step? Does anyone have an idea of how we can move this entire file into Pandas? What do we need to do? Give me suggestions. I mean, there's no, we might hit on the right answer. So
You can do pd.data frame and feed the data alongside the column names. You can do that.
okay, how would we do that?
You set a data frame name that
Yeah.
equals to pd.data frame.
Okay.
And then within parentheses, you feed the data, the whole data.
So
And
lines,
then,
is it?
I mean, it's your data. It should be your data. I don't know if lines is a list or something.
Yeah, lines is a list.
Okay. So mainly it happens, you feed the data.
Or do you want to feed F?
See, it's a hit and error, something like
Okay.
that. I'm just saying what I have read in the documentation.
Okay. Yeah. So okay, so I've
No, it's not like that. It's not like that. You have to give the column names as well, right? Otherwise, you won't be you would
yeah,
be knowing. So columns equals in a list form, you give the column names, or you
yeah,
just can't. I mean, you don't give it. Doesn't matter. The column
yeah,
names would be some 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that.
correct. So leave it, yeah.
You just remove columns from there, so it would just take 0 to some numbers as columns.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll run that. And how do we see the data frame?
Df dot head.
Nothing.
So that means you can't feed f.
Yeah. Any other ideas? Lines, perhaps?
We can try.
Oh, something's turned up.
Yeah, it's giving. See 0, as I told you. The column, first column, so it's giving 0 name. I mean,
Right.
name
So
0 to it.
Okay. So what's the problem here?
Carter.
Yes.
I have done something like to get at the table. Can I show you?
Yes. Sure. Sure. Well, you can explain it to us. What do you think I should do to get the table? Is it Sahil? Okay. Ramande, is it? No. Who is it?
It's me, Ramandeep.
Yeah, Ramande. Okay. Yeah.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, screen is visible. So this is Parquet, right? We're not dealing with the Parquet file. We're dealing with the log file that Answer had given. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are. He's muted actually.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yes. Sorry.
Okay.
I have
So
used Google Colab. Like,
yeah.
we want to get the table. So
Yeah, but okay, you can stop sharing now.
okay.
Okay, so are you guys? Let's see, resume presenting here. Okay, so the problem is, can someone describe what the problem is here?
It's not delimited. It's just dumped in one column every data.
Correct. There's only one column, right? Column 0 and each line. The nice thing is we can see that actually all the rows are there, right? So in fact, instead of df head, if I put daf itself, it'll give you this head and tail. Okay, so you can see the first 5 rows here, and you can see the last 5 rows here. So we have achieved something, but what we want to do is put them in specific columns, right? And you're right on the right track. We actually need to define some columns. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to define some columns. Okay, if we looked at each one of these lines, so what we can see here, and in fact, I'll show you the actual graded assignment here. You can see what I'm talking about. So if you go to week 3 and you see here, notice Anand sir has actually described these rows. What's actually in each line? Okay, so each one of these can be a column. Each one of these except where is it? Here, request. So request has 3 separated parts. So one will be method, one will be URL, and the other one will be protocol, I think. So this part will have 3 separated parts. So this request part will be not a column in of itself. Okay, so we will split them out so that we can do useful processing with it. So going back to our original thing here. So we need to define some columns. So the first one was IP. So I do IP. Another column was remote login, I think it was. There's another way of doing it as well. Remote user, you can do it like this as well. Then there was a timestamp, I think. Then there was the request had 3 parts to it, right? So method, and there was a URL, and there was a protocol. Then there was a status, I believe. Oops. Then there was size, referrer, and then user agent, virtual host, and server. I think those were the columns, right? So let's see here. We've got an IP. This first dash was a remote login. Second dash was a remote user. That's the timestamp there. That's the request, and the request has 3 parts to it. So which is the method, which is here's get, then the URL, and then there was the protocol itself that was used, which is this HTTP. And then we have the status, which is this 200 number here. Then there was size of the file that was fetched, 7,400 bytes. Then there was a referrer here. Then there was the user agent, which is here. This whole thing is the user agent, okay? This whole big thing in the quotes. And then there was the virtual host, and then there was the server. So yeah, so we got all the columns there. So we've done that. So the next thing is we've got to read all these lines of data that so I'm going to just remove this now, just to clean this up a bit. So all these lines we read, okay, from this log file, we've got to put into these lists, into these column lists. So what would we do next? Anyone can tell me how to do it? It's simple Python. This is not pandas or anything so far. How do I put all those items that are in a line? How do we put it into these list columns? Can someone suggest me how we can do that?
Sorry to interrupt. Could you please
Yeah.
scroll up a little?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any thoughts? Come on, guys. You got to give me something. There's no wrong answer, okay? This is all trial and error, right? This is art.
Can we use split method?
Sorry, use what method? Split. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that idea a lot, because that's what we want to do, right? This is a whole big string in one line, and we want to split it, right? So any thoughts on how we would go? Let's try splitting one line, okay? Let's try splitting just this one line. So how would we go about splitting that one line?
Lines of 0 dot split.
Yeah, lines 0, okay, dot split. Okay, then what do we do? How are we going to split this?
If you don't put anything, it would just take space or something just which is not given there. So you have to put the delimiter within. Yeah.
So
it took the space.
Yeah. So it took, by default, it took space, right? But there's one problem here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see that it probably has more columns than we actually need, right? So we have to come up with a little bit more clever way of doing it. Any thoughts on this?
You can choose the delimiter differently. You can within the parentheses, you can give within single quotes any other any other single, double, doesn't matter. I mean, you could give any other delimiter. Could be maybe hyphen or anything. I mean, just to see if it works or not.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, sure. Let's see what happens. Right. So if we did the hyphen, we got that.
Yes, so now it's lesser, so it won't work.
Yeah. So how do we? So my question still remains, right? How do we get all these individual things into this? This is an important skill. That's why I'm spending time on this. Yeah. I mean, I could give you the answer, but that won't make you think.
We can use regular expressions.
We could use regular expressions. That's possible. I'm not an expert with regular expressions. If you can suggest as one, I would be happy to
I
try.
used Chat GPT for the regular expressions, and then
that's fine. You can post it in for us. What the regular expression is, we can give it a go.
Okay.
So, any other ideas while we are waiting for regular expressions?
I am thinking of append function. As we know the IP address of every string is of same size, then we can use append option.
Okay, so what would you have me write here?
Lines dot append bracket from 0 to
sorry, from
0 then semicolon upper, yes, and we will see the string just below down, scroll down.
Okay, you're not clear, Sahil. I could not hear what you're saying. You want to paste the command in the chat box and then we can try it?
I want to say we will just count the length of the IP address and just write here.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do we do that? Can you paste it in the chat box?
If you write 10 after 0, then
10,
I think it will.
Okay.
Yes.
So just
and here,
this, is it?
Yes. And at the place of line, I think the first IP address I have to write. No,
But append
remove
is
the
for
line.
a single value, right?
Remove the line 0 from there and write IP. Remove
IP.
line also. Yes.
Remove lines, right? IP. Yeah. Oh, okay. I see. You want to put, I see what you mean. You want to put this into the list. Yeah. And here you want to put lines.
Yes.
Okay, lines and what? Lines of 0
to 10.
And then what you want to put? The length?
From 0 to 10. Length is 0 to 10.
0 to 10, like that? No, 0 to 10.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. Then I think IP will append.
You think so? Okay, we'll give it a go. Right, so it says, oh, right, I better run this, don't I? Okay, so now let's give it a go. All right, okay, it did something. Let's have a look. What does IP have? So that's what IP gave us. So we ran this code, and that's what we got. So what happened here? Can someone explain this?
It's a list, so you just can't do that. It just took list of 0th element and 10th element, so it went from 0 to 9. So it just appended 0 to 9 that in the single lines. You have to run a for loop and take each value out of it.
Now we're getting somewhere. A for loop. I like that idea. Okay, so for what are we going to do? For
you can write for line in lines,
Okay. Then okay, here's a question I'll ask you, right? We know that this list has some, or this line has some defining characteristics about it, right? And one of those characteristics are each of these things, they are separated by a space, except it doesn't work all the time, correct?
Yeah.
So the question then becomes, okay, if it doesn't work all the time, when does it work? So we know it will work there, there, there. Here it might not work. So maybe we can think of a solution for that. But we know it will work here. And do you think we can try and use, are you guys familiar with, so in the split function, so if I go back to looking at just a single line, right, rather than looking at all the lines. So what do you think will happen if I do this? Shall I run this? Or does someone want to give me the answer before I run it?
This is new. Please run
Oh,
it.
okay. What did we get here?
Okay. So the first element is splitted on the
Yeah.
basis of space.
And then what happened? What's the second element?
The two dashes, that dash.
The rest of the entire thing, right?
Rest of the-
Remember, this is a list, right?
Okay.
So what happens if I do 2 here? What do you
The
think will
first
happen?
two
It would do first
spaces
two.
will be
Do you think there's some mileage in trying it? So what's happening now? Are we getting things that we want?
Yes, we are.
So do you have an idea now what we could possibly do? So let's think about where the problems lie, okay? So we know that there is a problem here, right? That the timestamp is this and this. But in the questions that Anand sir asked, do we really need this bit? This O500?
Time zone can be ignored.
No, we
No,
do
because
not
it,
need it.
yeah, because it is throughout the thing, throughout the entire log, it's the same, right? It's coming from the same server. So it doesn't matter that we can get that separately. What else are we able to do? So we know that, let's say, for example, let's try till 10, see what we get. So we got the IP address, we got the remote login, we got the remote user, we got the time, but that's okay. We can clean this up, right? We know how to clean little extra bits here and there. So we got the time, we can ignore this in the list. We got the get function, we got the URL, we got the HTTP, the method, we got the status.
Status code.
Yeah. We got the size, we got the other referrer, and we got the, what do you call this, the user agent. Okay, so now we know with user agent, it's problematic, okay? So I'm going to show you a new trick. So we know that at least till the 10th split, we can deal with, right? Because it will be the same for no matter how many lines are there, correct? Yeah, you guys are with me?
yes.
Okay. So let's look at the last bit of this. Now, is there a pattern for the last bit? So we know there are 3 more things, right? One is this big ugly thing, which we will need to deal with, or we don't want to deal with. And then there are some 2 very nicely defined fields. So instead of, so we can split this bit, but we can do one more better. We can go line 0 dot I'm going to show you something. R split. What do you think R split will do?
It would split on the right side of the text. Only right side spaces would be removed.
Look at this. So we got this ugly bit in the front, but we got the last 2 bits. Now you have an idea of what we could attempt to do now in a nice clean for loop.
So what does R split do?
So we want to, the goal is to get all those columns, right, into nice little lists like this.
Yeah.
So can you tell me now that you've seen what's possible with splitting, with clever splitting, what we can do? Because the biggest problem is here, right, where we have the user agent. This is where all the problems lie, because that's where all ugly stuff is, right? So anyone want to tell me now that you've seen how we can
Um,
cleverly split, what
I
we should
actually
do?
don't understand R split.
Okay, so R split, what it does is, let me start with the easy line. Okay, so let's say some text. This is a nice sentence, right? And if I do R split on this, some text dot R split, okay, and I say separate on space, and I say split this into one. Okay, I want one split, and look at this list, what it does. What does it do?
So it separates from the right side.
Correct, it separates out from the right side. But this is a nice list, right? We can access these elements easily now.
Yeah.
So if I do it as 2, you get sentence, you get nice, and you get the rest of the list. So
Okay.
using these two ideas, we know how to left split, we know how to right split, and the ugly bit is in the middle. So do we have an idea of how we can split that log file into this? Okay,
Can't
I'll
you
start.
split twice? Like once with a simple split and once with a R split to get the last element.
Yeah, you're on the right track. You're on the right track. That's good.
Actually, isn't it also possible that there's dirty data, like a lot of it, like some some of it, I mean, some of the information that you want is actually in the center of two pieces of dirty information.
Correct.
So
So
how do
if we examine this, right, will IP addresses ever be dirty?
sorry,
Will IP addresses ever be dirty?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So this will be fine, right? And we are told in the graded assignment that these are also typically going to be these dashes. And we know that the time will always look like this. We know that the time zone will always look like this. There will always be a method request at the front. There will always be a referrer over here, and there will always be a what's this called? I forget what it's protocol. Yeah, there will always be a protocol here. There will always be a status number here. So far these are all clean bits of data that will be in the log, and the size. And then we will get this. This was called something in the graded assignment. What was it called? It was called. I think it was called referrer. So that will also be like that. This is the only dirty bit. This is the dirty bit. So we have one dirty bit, and we've got two more things at the end, which are nice and clean. So the idea is put all the left bits that are nice and clean, put all the right bits that are nice and clean, and then we are left with only one dirty bit. But we don't mind if that's one item, right? Because that will be in a column by itself.
So, in the case that I mentioned, how would you go about it?
Yeah. So, so that's what we're going to demonstrate. What I'm going to demonstrate next. Let me just clean this up a bit, yeah, so that. So we'll do it with one line, okay? So that we can see what happens. So I'm going to say log, because each line is a log. Say line 0. We're going to only try it with one line. Split. Okay. Oops. And then I'm going to say IP append, or rather, instead of saying that for now, we'll examine this log 0. Actually, I could have put this in a for loop, but I'm doing it the stupid way just so that it's very, very clear. Okay, let's look at just these 7 for now. So notice what's happening. We are getting each of these items onto us. We can access each of these elements in the list from this split. Okay. So the idea is now, instead of putting them like this in a print, we'll append them to these lists. Do you follow what I'm doing?
Yeah.
So I'll say IP dot append. Do the same for the rest of this. This is where I should use Anand sir's trick, shouldn't I?
So if I'm not wrong, you can
Yeah.
use, you can like split the entire thing based
Correct.
on the number of items, and then you can just access whichever elements that you require.
Yes. Yes. And it'll be nice and clean, right?
Right.
So, okay, I'm going to just do something here. Just give me a second here. Right, so did I get everything? So we don't want this. Right. So this might not be correct, but we'll clean it up, yeah? But you get the idea now, I think. So put this whole thing inside a for loop. Change this to line. Right, let's see what we get. I don't know what's going to come out of this. That was quick. And so you guys are familiar with dictionaries, right?
Yeah.
So remember, these were lists that we created. Now they have all the IP addresses. This one has all the remote logins. This has all the remote users, etc., etc. And this is just putting each of those in a dictionary so that we can access them directly. Okay, so that's all it is. Nothing fancy here going on. And then hopefully the useful thing from when we can then start actually solving the problem. Why my pandas is not running? Did I not run pandas? Probably not. Let's stick them all in here. Let's hope this works. It might be messy. There might be problems. Let's see. And
Your F should be capital, right?
Yep, good spot, good spot. Something else is wrong. All arrays must be of the same length. Ah, something went wrong. What went wrong? Why are our arrays not of the same length? Let me just run this again from the beginning because we might have messed up some things. Now it should work. Yeah. Okay, let's see what's in this data frame now. What do you guys think? Do you think this is interesting? Let's see, df.head. There's IP, remote user, timestamp. Aha. We have a little bit of a problem here, but we can fix that. But it's getting there, isn't it? It's getting there. Just need a little bit of finesse to it. So timestamp number 3. We want, actually that's okay. Method is fine. URL is fine. Protocol is fine. Status is fine. Size is fine. Actually, that's all of it, isn't it? Did we miss anything? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what do you guys think?
We can drop second and third column because they are just dashes, right?
Yep. So we can drop those if you want. So there's a nice easy way to do it in Pandas. Anyone want to volunteer how we drop columns?
We drop, then you type columns equals in a list form, you just give the names, or you can just use access.
Yeah. So which columns you want to drop? You want to drop remote login? We don't need that. What else we don't need? We don't need remote user. We don't need. Okay. Let's drop these two for the time being. And one more thing we should do, use this attribute called in place. So that means
so you're making it permanent in the data frame.
Yeah, because we don't need these, right? Remote login.
Yeah.
If you look at the graded assignment, then he's never asked about this because there's nothing useful in them anyway. So we can drop those columns. We don't need those columns. And so now if we look at DF, so you can see we have IP. We can still clean this up, okay? There's no problems with that. We can clean this up also. Not necessary, but we can always do a search on get and it will find it. And then we've got all the other things. We can drop these as well. And notice we've got the entire user agent. So even though it was messy, dirty, everything, right? There was no issues now. And we've got vhost, the virtual host, and the server. So I'll just walk you through this code once again, just so that it's clear to you what we did. Okay. So we read the text file, just a normal Python way of reading text files. Of course, you can use with open or however you prefer to do it. And then we examined the content of this one line of the text file so that we get an understanding of the structure. We created some columns. Some of these are not necessary even, okay? We can even remove these here itself. But I just did them so that you can see how we can extract information very easily from here, okay? Created columns because those are the things we needed. And then I just read each line. I did a little bit of a clever split. I said split the 11 left ones and the 2 right ones. And the one in the middle, we just kind of ignored that it, I mean, we didn't ignore it, but we kind of left it as is because that was the one that was ugly. And then we just appended it to the list that we created. Then I made a data dictionary with the lists as the values and the key as the column names. I stuck that in a data frame because ultimately that's what a data frame is. It's a column with keys as the name, and then the rest of it are just lists. Can you see that? These are just lists, and these are the keys to those lists, and that's what the data frame is. Now, once you put it into a Pandas data frame, now you've got a very powerful tool to do processing on, because now you can do some very useful things. So, for example, if we looked in the graded assignment, you will need to do some filtering, right? So I'm going to show you how to do some simple filtering, and you can see why this is powerful. So in the requests, was it requests? No, it was in the URL, I think. Yeah. So in the URL, in the URL column, we wanted, for example, let me have a look at the graded assignment here, what we wanted. Graded assignment 3. So we wanted Hindi, for example, right? How many successful GET requests were made for Hindi? So if I type here /Hindi MP3, I think that's called. Then, okay. Yeah. So what this does is, this is the filter. I want to search in URL. So df, and I put this, just like searching a Python dictionary. You put these square brackets, or sometimes you can put dot. Put the key. I want the string that contains this in the column. And then I want you to return the results. So this is the filter between the square brackets. And I want you to put that in a temporary data frame for me to see. So if I do this, so it will show me the rows, and notice what it filtered. Notice all of these have that, see, in the MP3. So now we can do something else also. We can put this, we can call this in the data frame. So now it will store it for us, these rows. We can do some additional filtering on this. In the data frame, I want to do it on the method column. Method. So someone want to tell me what to type now? Should be very straightforward. Am I audible? You guys are very silent.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Are you guys following it, or is this a lot to take in?
Can't we just use Hindi DF instead of DF outside the last bracket?
Here, yeah. Hindi, sorry. Hindi, yeah. We are filtering on this subset. Oops. So you realize, right, what has happened? We have got this subset. Only Hindi MP3s are there now. And within this Hindi MP3s, we want only the successful GET requests, right? Notice that if I go back here, just show you something. Hindi df dot info. And it tells you how many rows are there. 23,176 rows are there. The original data set had 2,60,000 rows. And we filtered out for Hindi Hindi MP3s, we got 23,000 rows. And now, once we filter this set, we got, they're all successful GET requests. Interesting. Okay, let's try doing an extra filter then.
Status, we can do the filtering now.
Yes, successful. Don't we check with the status, like above, between 2 to 300?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we can do that. So as you can see, there are some 406, 403. So we want only 200 because that's what gives us success, right? Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So only 200 gives us success. So actually what we need was not GET.
So we need to change the method also. It has to be status then.
Correct. I wanted to see if you guys were awake or you were just falling asleep. Right, very good.
Less, greater than equal to 200, but less than 300.
Yeah, we could do that. That's a range. Let me see what.
But our data contains only 200 and rest are all above 400.
Yeah, but we don't know that, right? So so I'll show you a trick how you can know that. So if you want to find out the unique values in your data set, spelling here Hindi, status, do this, and it will tell you the unique values in your data set. Notice what it shows. There's 200, there's 406, 404, 403, 400. So now you know your entire data set only has these values in status codes. I hope you're really appreciating the power of Pandas now, because this is a wonderful, wonderful library. You can do so many beautiful things with it. So now that we know that these are the only status codes, we know that 200 is a successful GET request, right? So we can search only for 200s. Let's see how many did it pull up. So now it is less. 21,536. There was initially 23,000 and now we are down to 21,536. Does that, do you guys have any questions at this point? Something that was unclear, something you did not follow, because it's worth really being able to appreciate what's happening here.
You're explaining in a very simple way, so it's easy to follow already.
Okay, very good. So other types of filters are possible. One thing I can do, this is only for demonstrating, okay, this is not for the graded assignment, but size is a number, right? But if you notice here, it just thinks of it as an object because we haven't converted it to a number. So it can't do number processing yet, but we can fix that in the DF. And we want size, and we want to convert it. So we do as type. Let's make it an int. I hope I got the syntax right.
You need to make it float.
Yes, because it's some things are bigger than ints, right?
Yes.
So we can try that float, or I think they also have. Let me try this 1 second. Import numpy as np. I do apologize for the screen jumping about so much. It's because I've zoomed in so much that whenever I press Shift Enter, it goes a bit batty. So let's try now np. Oops. np use int. So we can try a bigger size of some in 64 or something. Still something. So let's see what the error is. Invalid literal for int with base 10. Okay.
Would you be there or just in 64?
I have a feeling there is something in that particular field that it doesn't like.
Just Carlton, just print that Hindi DF size just to check. So there might be some empty or some kind of weird value.
Nan values, yeah, possible. Where did it go? Okay, what we can do is we can search for nan values actually. Is any have to put, so this is a filter, okay? So I have to still put it in a data frame.
Oh, it has to be Hindi. Yeah.
Let's try. So there are no nan values. Are there null values? Is null. No null values. There must be something that's an issue. Just give me a second here, okay? Meanwhile, you guys can take just a couple of minutes break, okay? I'll just get a sip of water and come back in just a minute. Right. Okay. So in just a couple of minutes, I'll share with you how we can do the conversion. I have to look it up because I don't remember. But we are able, in Pandas, you're actually able to, I'm sure someone can look it up on ChatGPT. In Pandas, you are able to convert from a column into an int or those sorts of things. And I know there's a way to
Yeah,
what they
you
call.
need to do it like PD dot to numeric and the course equals something,
Yes. Yes.
errors
You
equals
have to
course you need
course.
to do.
Yeah.
Course.
So that the
So it would forceful convert. Yeah.
Yes. 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 So you can, if someone can look that up, that'd be great. Or let's see here.
You just do one thing. You just make an extra column or something or a variable, and you just type PD dot to underscore numeric. Within parenthesis, you feed that particular column and comma
Okay.
errors equals course. That's all.
Yeah. So we can do it for size, isn't it? So we want the df and make a new column. We'll call it int size or something. And then we want to put the column name that we want to convert.
PD dot to numeric.
Okay.
And inside that parenthesis, that has to be there.
Okay. And what do we want to do here? Put the column name, is it?
Yes. Just feed the column name.
Just the column name? Or the...
No. The thing, Hindi DF and column name. You just can't feed the only column name, right?
Yeah. Okay. And its size, I think it was.
And just do comma and errors equals course.
Yep, I think this is it. This is the one. Okay, so now if we look at Hindi DF in size, I have done this before, but the thing is, it's hard to remember all the what you call for it, the syntax. So, yeah, so we've got a column with those values as ints now. So now we can do
It's
a
float
filter on
actually.
this.
It's float 64.
Right,
You did the forceful conversion, right? So it makes by default float.
Okay. So what we can do now is we can do some filters on this also. So if we say we want some ones that are greater than 2000. So at the moment there are 21,176 entries. And when we did the filter of greater than 2000, so that's still quite a lot. So let's make it bigger. Let's make it 4000. So greater than 4000 bytes, there are only 262 columns. So that's filtering using greater than operator and things of that sort. So this sort of stuff works if they are numbers, numeric. So that's something that's possible as well. A similar thing can be done with date time. So the idea behind date time is you have to convert it into a proper date time column. And the way to go about it is there is a function similar to the one that we used for ints. And we, first of all, of course, we have to clean up the timestamp. Okay. So that's one thing we have to do. And we can do that by removing the first bit over here. We remove this what you call bracket in the front of it. And so anyone want to suggest to me how we go about removing the bracket? It's a function called replace, I believe.
df dot replace. I think df column name dot replace.
Yeah, replace, and then we have to put what you want to replace, which is this square bracket. Okay, and then we want to put what we want to replace it with, right? So nothing. Yeah, and I think that should work probably. You want to do it in place. So. Okay. So let's have a look now. DF timestamp. No, it still did not remove it. Why did it not remove it? I think because it was trying to match the whole string most likely. Okay, no worries. There is a similar function. It's just that I don't remember off the top of my head what it was. But there is a way to replace these kinds of issues. Normally what you do is there's like a mapping function, and there are various these kinds of things. But what I tend to do is, if I can, right here itself in the initial stage, right, when we got the simple, what do you call for it, the simple split, here also it could have been done at this stage. By using, let's see, you could use, for example, in the split for the third one, timestamp. you could instead of using the space, we could have used like a delimiter as the square bracket over there and fixed it over there. That's one possibility. Or using any kind of Python string function, you can fix it over there. But I know in Pandas also there is the option. It's just that I don't remember what it's off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up on ChatGPT. But hopefully I've given you something to go on in terms of what is possible when you have pandas, right? Once you got your data in a data frame, you're able to do lots of processing on it, which helps you to find the answers very quickly and easily. You're able to convert those items to date stamp. If the field was clear, then I could have used something like, I'll share it with you now. I could do this. So I could do to date time, tell what the format was. So this format is for pandas to know what format your date time is in. I know there's this little bit of colon on the front. So in fact, we could possibly put that here. I'm not sure. We can give it a try. Oh, sorry, it's not timestamps, is it? Timestamp. Let's give it a try. What is there? Yeah, I think it worked. Let's see. All right, now we're cooking on gas, as they say. So yeah, we didn't even have to do replace. Okay, we just
you just did the forceful conversion, so that was the best option.
Yeah. So as you can see, I told pandas, okay, look, this column has timestamps, and this is the format it's actually. There is a weird little square bracket in the front, and all these things are there. So what it did is it converted it to an actual timestamp. So now you can do some really cool processing with this also. So let's say, some of the questions, they had filters that said only on Tuesdays, for example, right? Or Mondays, or sorry, whatever filter that you wanted, right? Because we converted it to a timestamp, now you can do things like choose only Tuesdays. Oh, again, I got the date time. Oops. I think I have to import a library for this date time.
Yeah, could you please explain the format? Like percentage D, I suppose it's for date.
Yes.
Is for what? Percentage B.
So the small d is for day. Actually, what I can do is I can share you the. There is a documentation that's it's called string format time, and that tells you what these things are. But I can tell you this is for days which are padded with a 0. So if it is 0, 3, 0, 4, you can use the small d. The small b is for months that are abbreviated. So APR. So that would be an abbreviated month, right? Abbreviated month. So then there is percentage Y. That's for the year. These are just characters in your.
This I get it. Hours, minutes, and second.
Yes. So that's what this is.
So if we want full month, should I give a capital B?
There is documentation for it.
Okay, good.
Let me just quickly look it up. String format date. Yeah, this is the thing I think for it. So if I show you this, so this is a Python string time format. Can you see this over here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll put this link in the
capital B. Yeah.
I'll put this in the chat window, so you can access that.
Thank you.
Change DF to okay. Yeah, you're right. It's DF, right? Because we converted the DF timestamp. That's why the error. Nice catch. Nice catch. Prowl, is it prowl? Yeah. So now notice the code worked because, okay, I'll tell you what the error was. Prowl caught this. When I did the time conversion, I did it on DF, not Hindi DF. So that's why it didn't work, because we had converted DF, not Hindi DF. So now I made a subset of Tuesdays. So if you look on here, DF timestamp. In fact, let's do one better. Let's say unique. No, but we want days, right? Okay. But if you look on here, the timestamps for these, I know if we filter them out specifically by converting this date time into another column, we will get the actual day being Tuesday. If I do this. Okay, so, and then view this list. So 30th, 7th, 14th, 21, 28. These were the days that were filtered out by only choosing Tuesdays with this filter. And you can see these dates, 37, 14, 21. So you know that it has filtered out all Tuesdays in your data set. I hope that this has given you some idea of how you can solve these questions using Pandas. And that's questions all the way from 1 to 8. Now, I know it sounds incredulous, but I also solved all these, and I know that it's possible to do these. So using Pandas alone. The key is to put the columns into data frame and then just do the filters. And then it's very, very quick and easy. The last two questions have to do with JSONs. These JSONs you have to import into OpenRefine and then use the, I think it's called, is it called fetch? No, facet. It was called facet. The facet option in OpenRefine is what enables you to clean up the data where city names are misspelled in the last two parts of the graded assignment. Were there any other questions? We've got 10 more minutes before the session wraps up. But I hope you found everything clear to understand. I know we had a little bit of trouble in between, but was there anything else that you wanted clarification on?
How do we save the data in OpenRefine once we have used the facet and the text facet option? I couldn't find a way to save it.
Okay. Let me open it here. OpenRefine. So you used the application that was downloaded, right? The one you put on your computer. Okay, let me download one of those JSONs. Product sales. Okay. And then okay. What did I miss here? Should work, right? Create specify record path list. Okay, that's better. So there is an export function here, and you can save the results of the file using this export function.
I did that. I don't know. Maybe I made a mistake. It was not working properly. I had to do it 2-3 times. Then.
Okay. I mean, I can try it now. Okay. I got a file.
No, make the changes now first because the changes were not getting saved.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, there's one more thing I would like to ask. Like, pick the cluster for Tokyo and Dhaka as Tokyo only. Is that okay? I mean, I was busy doing that separate. Tokyo, first
Yeah,
one.
yeah. So the idea behind this was, if you found this sort of situation,
Right.
right, you don't want to convert Dhaka to Tokyo.
Right.
Right. So I was just doing this just so that
I mean,
we
I
can.
thought maybe I was making a mistake. I mean,
No. This is when you clean this up, right? It's not going to always be correct. So you have to be careful. You have to see for yourself that okay, this is not working out. So I would not use this. This looks okay, so I would choose the correct one. Delhi here. This Bangalore is the correct one.
Right.
So you have to use some how do I say it? Some discretion in how you use it,
Right.
and only merge and select those. Then what you do is if you come here and you'll find that issue, right, where Dhaka was or something like that was not good. So then you can say,
Edit.
okay, these ones over here you want to change, and then you click on edit and you say these are all actually Dhaka. And so it'll change all three of those to Dhaka. So some manual work is needed, but it's still better than
doing
it.
Everything manually.
Yes, yeah. So it will take you 90% of the way. But as you can see, like over here, 25 Dhaka is there, right? So you can change all 25 in one go. And do it that way. And then you can run the clustering again, because then you will be, so if I run the clustering again, you might get, now because you changed a few more of those, you might end up getting some better results. See, I don't see Dhaka on here anymore actually. Might be at the bottom or something. Yeah, here, see. So now we get these, you see, because you just changed a few. You don't have to change all of them.
Okay.
Because you changed a few, now it's able to correctly identify, okay, these are all supposed to be Dhaka. So it's a bit of trial and error, but you don't have to change all of them. Okay, so we applied this facet. Now let's try and export. In fact, let's do one more filter. Let's say I want only Beijing or something. Okay, so we want to export this, right? So let's try. Export. Yeah, comma separate. So yeah, it works. It exported only Beijing.
Okay, okay,
It exported only the filters that we put on there. Okay.
okay, okay. I'll try it once more.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Okay. Any other questions? Do you think you guys now can solve all the things that you encountered in week 3?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to ask, or we can wrap this up? I'll stop the recording if you don't have any more questions, and if you want to ask some questions after I stop the recording, that's fine as well. I can be candid with you if you wanted. Okay. I'm stopping the recording now.